Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Spice and Wolf, episode 2, in which... I don't know, we're probably gonna travel somewhere, right? We are aiming for the north, of course, as we heard, but where exactly are we going in this today's episode? I don't know. Anybody's guess. We'll see about that. In the previous episode, what exactly happened? Well, we got to see the world, or at least a little bit of it. We know that there is some sort of a tension between the church and the heretics slash pagans. So that's something. We know that there are some changes, like up in the ranks of the country, kinda sorta, because the village has a new lord. So there are some changes. There's a lot of changes in the world right now, including the how do I say, the erosion of the belief in the old gods, deities, demigods, etc., etc., etc. Because we have technology now, we have fertilizer, we have new ways of tilling soil, we have more resilient, I don't know, grains, whatever. We don't need to pray to the wolf goddess for good harvest. We can guarantee good harvest ourselves, right? So a very big age of a big shift, I guess you could say. That's the times we are in, and in those times, our main character, Kraft, travels around the country, buying, selling. He bought a bunch of fox pelts, got a sheaf of wheat, very good wheat, apparently very like resilient and stuff. Arrived at a certain village where he usually trades wheat because they helped each other, right? The village had very expensive wheat. Kraft was a newbie merchant, so they helped each other. Nobody but them wanted to sell Kraft their wheat, and nobody but Kraft wanted to buy their wheat, so it was perfect. And now the village is prosperous. With the new lord, the wheat is cheaper, and they can make, make it work for themselves without necessarily any need, any help. Not from Kraft, seemingly, although they are still very much in a business partnership. Not from Holo. Holo, the wise wolf, who stayed at the village, who made a promise, an oath, almost. My cat is meowing for some godforsaken reason. What do you want? She just laid down in my room and started meowing. No, she just went to sleep. She came here to announce herself that she's going to sleep now. Great. Holo, right. Holo, who made a pact with the villagers back in the days that the villagers will house her and give her stuff, right? Give her tribute, and in exchange she will guarantee good harvest. But every now and then the harvest had to be bad to let the fields recuperate, let the soil gain nutrients again, etc., etc. So the villagers would of course say, oh, Holo is a fickle goddess and stuff. And now that the villagers don't necessarily need her help, they have the new lord, they have the new technology, etc. Holo decided that, yeah, it's probably time to just get out of here, to travel north. I'm no longer needed. I'm going to go back to my homeland, up north. Very unspecified area, but north in general, somewhere. And she joined Kraft. She jumped into his sheaf of wheat, and she's traveling with him now. Yeah, she got new clothes at the end, and she's going to be helping Kraft. She says that she will earn her keep, so we will see how it goes. From what I hear from you guys, it will go with commerce, with just being merchants, with going from city to city, selling stuff, trying to buy cheap and sell expensive, stuff like that. It's gonna be fun, I think. I'm immediately reminded of Mao Yusha, I think it's called, right? Yeah, it has kind of similar vibes, I guess, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, one episode was definitely way too little to be able to tell anything more about what this show's gonna be, so let's watch another, shall we? To do that, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want to monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 2 of Spice and Wolf in 3, 2, 1, go. Almost wanted to say episode 2 of Hololive, but I mean close. And Holo is a VTuber now, I heard, so we finally achieved Hololive. Oh, must be nice. Sleep on some fresh grass. Okay, she's not naked at least. Gotta take a bath. Fair, yeah. Don't you have any magic to get rid of the fleas? Yes. Both are very cute, Holo. Indeed. Hmm? Okay. You don't need a nose to see that. That said, curious thing, human noses are very, can smell rain from very far away. We are unique that way. Okay, so it is the opening after all. It had some very ending-y vibes to it. I wonder what's the ending gonna be. Is that Holo? Or is it some other wolven demigod? Mischievous wolf and no laughing matter. A tithe for something? Or are they staying at the church? Some sort of a monastery they're staying at? Naked. Yes. Perfectly predictable. Okay, martens, not foxes. Yeah, she doesn't necessarily know the running prices, does she? She knows the quality. Hmm. Okay. Fair. Take a shower. What beard? Little bit of stubble. There we go. I guess she likes fur. Yeah, you probably really don't want to be discovered by the church, a stray goddess that people mistaken for a demon. Or, well, Kraft himself mistaken her for a demon. So, exchange trade. No currency to speak of? Yeah, no currency. Mm-hmm. Which is probably to your benefit. Yeah, I mean, you only sell a single product, so you can set a price on it and just sell it like that. So knowing the exchange trade is beneficial for someone who travels around the world and maybe deals with like different currencies, right? He might travel to a different country that has a different currency, but a bushel of rye will always exchange for the same amount of salt, for example. I mean, dependent again on the area. If it's an area where rye grows well, then rye will be cheaper. If it's an area near a salt mine, then salt will be cheaper, etc., etc. But you can make use of that. You look sketchy. Very, very sketchy. She wasn't covering up just before, so... No? I mean, yeah, sure. Sometimes the parts that are covered do more than the parts that are uncovered, right? You wanna trade? Or do you know of an opportunity to trade? Okay, that sounds nice. Okay, so that's the potpourri that appeared in, what, the opening? Or somewhere? Yeah? He's a merchant after all. What do you have for trade, Holo? Don't spill the wine. It's expensive. I mean, as a human, you do, so might as well learn to chew. Just chew them. uh, oh, that could be useful. Could be very useful in trade. Someone tries to give you a wrong price, for example, and Holo can see that he's undercutting you. What did he tell you? What sort of a fucking Ponzi scheme is that? Ah, no, just currency speculation. Possibly, yes. Okay, so we have a confirmation that there are different currencies. So exchange trade is actually a useful thing to know. Hmm. It's a puzzle, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, is he lying because maybe there are some legal repercussions for speculating currency? Because he can't procure enough of it? Because, I don't know, whatever other reason, right? It depends. Maybe he wants to screw you on money. Maybe he just wants you to do the job, but in the end, you will also get the money from it, right? We don't know that. Fair, I mean, it's not gonna hurt. He says he wants a part of your profit, so at worst, you can just not speculate on the currency, not make any profit, and not have anything to share, right? I really could go for some fire roasted potatoes. Like after a bonfire is done and there's just the little embers and you bury potatoes in the ash, in the still hot ash. That's the best fucking potatoes possible. Slightly tangy from the smoke and the ash. Ah, a little bit of salt on it. Maybe buttermilk. What did you want from the priest, Holo? Hmm. Okay. Knowing the enemy. Yeah. Yeah. It really wasn't a thing for a load of time. You know what, Holo? I like you, girl. I empathize with you. Yeah, I'm curious about this scheme. Hmm. Okay, and until then, you can learn more. Also makes the whole scheme much more dangerous because it won't be Lawrence speculating on the currency, it would be Lawrence giving money to Jaren and Jaren speculating on it. And he might as well just disappear, right? Or he could make bank and then claim that no, I couldn't actually make any money. Or he could claim that he made less than he actually did, right? Much more dangerous than I initially assumed. Right, they don't care about the clock, they don't care about the calendar, they care about what's around them. They wake up with the sun and go to sleep with the moon. They till the fields in the spring and they harvest in autumn. Not on any particular day of any particular month, right? Multiple. Okay. I would assume so. Yeah. So are wolves like somewhat magical in nature, in that they want to absorb human strength, or is it just Holo's explanation? Very bad memories, huh? Probably losing his companion to the wolves. First time I see Holo not happy and smiling and all Genki. Hmm. Oh, yeah, just straight up. Okay, I like it. I like that they're straightforward. There's no beating around the bush like, no, I'm not angry at you. Not at all. I like it. Probably, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if someone saw a huge ass wolf in a forest and came screaming to the village, holy shit, there's a monster, let's kill it. Wouldn't surprise me. One hunted by wolves, the other hunted by humans, huh? Okay, that's the episode. We are in for a slow burn, aren't we? Oh, we have seen the ending before. I don't know why, but I assume that we've seen the opening as the ending in the first episode. So many anime are doing that recently that I just instantly assumed that Spice and Wolf did it as well. But no, no. Episode 1 was already proper opening and proper ending. That was some silver currency. Someone from the church and people with weapons chasing after Holo. So maybe the church is an enemy after all. And yeah, we can see the potpourri. Yep. And we know that's where the grain is that Holo resides in. Port Town and Sweet Temptation. Wasn't he supposed to meet at the port with Jeren? I wonder if that's the port that they were supposed to meet, or is it some different port? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see next week in the next episode. But right now, I'm going to... Yeah, I think this will be a little bit better, a little bit brighter. Maybe. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall. As we always do. Waking up with some fleece, of course. Greatness of her tail. Ears can hear coming of disasters and catch various lies. That's very useful for a merchant to have. Absolutely. Staying at... I think it's some sort of a monastery. It looks... It is a monastery. I was supposed to say that, oh, it looks like a castle, but monasteries do look like castle. They actually tended to be very much fortified, just like castles are. This one has a nice open area in the middle where I guess the travelers can stay, get some water, take a drink, leave some money in the golden pot, and they can get a room. I like how mature this series is. Not mature in that, oh, haha, nudity, oh, look, boobies. That's not maturity, really. I like that it's mature in, like, the opposite way. For example, they're not making a huge, big deal out of Holo being in the nude. They don't make a huge, big deal of Lawrence also stripping down from his shirt. Later on, they don't make a huge, big deal out of their emotions and feelings, but rather discuss them, right? It's not common, or less common than I would like it to be, honestly. I just... Yeah. I just kind of forgot that anime can be this mature, even when showing themes like that. I'm very much used to a scene where, I know, Lawrence enters here and he gets kicked in the chest by the naked girl. And she screams, hentai baka! Right? I'm used to that. This is not it. And I'm glad. Alternatively, I'm used to the man entering the room being extremely skittish, avoiding eye contact, just being turned back all the time. No, not so much Lawrence. He has a thing to do. He needs to dry off. He needs to take off his wet clothes. And sure, Holo being casually naked in the room does make him a little bit uncomfortable, but not to the point where he would forego what he needs to do and run away, right? Cool. Cool. Should I thresh it or keep it as it is? As long as I'm alive, the wheat will neither spoil nor wither, but also, as long as the wheat is alive, Holo will stay. But she might disappear. I may disappear. This is the keyword here. It's not a given, but it does lend credence to my theory that there's gonna be some drama connected with the grain. I may disappear if it is eaten, burned, or ground down and mixed into the soil. So any way that can make it not grow, not prosper, not live, right? If you just drop it, if you just bury it, chances are wheat will grow and Holo will reside in those new sprouts of wheat. For example, if you throw it away, if you throw it into the river, chances are it's going to wash ashore and grow eventually. But if you eat it, if you burn it, if you grind it down, nothing's going to grow out of it. So Holo may disappear. I really think it would be prudent for Lawrence to get another bunch of wheat and store it in the court, and get another bunch of wheat and keep it on himself. Should worst come to worst, Holo says that she can always jump to a bigger sheaf of wheat. So keep a bigger sheaf of wheat, or just a sheaf of wheat, so that should Holo lose her potpourri, should it burn, be ground down, or eaten, or whatever, she has somewhere else to reside in. I think it really would be prudent. And yeah, he's of course immediately willing to give it to Holo so that she safe keeps it. I like it. He's not like, I know, doing the, oh, I'm gonna keep it. I'm going to like tie you to myself. I'm going to be your keeper, like, right? No, he gives that wheat to her, and basically gives her freedom, right? She will be her own, I know, her own carrier. No, that doesn't sound right. She will take care of herself, right? He's not trying to tie her to himself. He gives her freedom. She can take the bunch of wheat and just go if she wants to. Nothing ties her to Lawrence. Cool, I like it. We're not getting any sort of a pseudo slavery here or anything of the sort, although it would be very easy to go that direction. But we aren't going in that direction. Cool, appreciate it. I prefer it a little longer. Right, yeah, They really don't want to give anime men beards, do they? I so rarely see an anime man with a beard or with any sort of facial hair. Maybe a villain might have like a twirly mustache. That's about the extent of it. A dwarf or an old gruff man might have like a full beard, but that's just some pubes on his chin. Yeah, we can dry off our clothes in the common room. Such a burn would be a part of who I am. I love how constantly Genki Holo is. Very often I catch myself thinking, oh, things are going to get serious. She's going to get serious now. No, she's very much Genki, very much happy-go-lucky all the time, but at the same time, there's wisdom to her. She's not just bumbling around and being stupid and silly and haha funny. No. She will say something absolutely poignant and, or however you pronounce it, and philosophical and wise, and she will say it with a smile and laugh about it and jump on your bed and bite you in the ear, right? That's the kind of a character she is. I like it. I enjoy it. I enjoy this archetype. I obtained salt there, delivered it to a different village. Yeah. Trading in wares, not in currency. Which is, again, as I said, very useful for a traveling merchant because he's not bound by currency. And he can speculate with his wares a little bit more, right? For example, if in a given country a bushel of rye has a set price, then the price is the same everywhere you go, presumably. But if you exchange that rye for salt, now we're talking. You might be in an area that doesn't have access to salt. Then your salt will be more valuable. You might be in an area where rye grows really well. Then rye will be cheaper. You might be in an area that has a salt mine or produces salt from seawater, and salt will be cheaper. You won't be able to get as much rye for it, right? But if you deal with currency, the price might be set, and you might have some trouble. But for a just a seller like his name is not Perenzo. His name is whatever, the owner of Perenzo. He only deals with a single ware, so for him it's better to sell his wine for currency rather than if he was able to trade his wine for salt or for topazes or for pottery or whatever. What the fuck's he gonna do with pottery except sell and maybe lose some money on that exchange or maybe gain some money, but it's not in his interest, is it? He might still be willing to exchange wine for something. For example, he needs new oaken barrels and he can give some, I don't know, 10 bottles of wine or whatever and purchase some, exchange that for some oaken barrels. Sure, absolutely. He needs a new cellar built. He can give a bottle of wine to every worker as a part of their pay, for example, right? It's a possibility. Exchange trade like that very much still works nowadays, even. So, yeah, but trading in just exchanging wares, not a good idea for him. Holo is really not hiding her burns. So, I wonder how was Jeren fooled, unless he joined later? He might have... Oh no, they moved somewhere else, I think. I was aiming for that couple myself, right, because he's also a merchant. And very much shady. When you do a zoom in on characters smiling, they're shady as fuck. It's a dead giveaway. It's absolutely a dead giveaway. My wife, Holo. And he wants to speculate on some currency. Wheat on a bit of leather string. You'll have to pay me back, and she will. With good, whatchamacallit? With some good advice, because she can recognize the lie. And she's also knowledgeable, and she's also wise. She's been alive for who knows how long. She knows the world, she knows the people, she can help you navigate them. Choked on potatoes, of course. Right, what was his deal? Certain silver coin that is currently being circulated will soon be replaced with coins that have a higher percentage of silver. The new silver coin is still worth the same as the old silver coin, but the new coins will be worth more when exchanged for the currency of other countries. Right, because they are worth as much as the silver that was used to mint them. Yeah, assuming what he says is true, of course. And assuming the exchange rate is actually based on the amount of raw material, raw silver, raw precious metal in the coin, and not just based on whatever, on the wares that you can buy for it, right? It would be, I guess, more better, more realistic to base the exchange rate on. You can buy a bushel of wheat for 1 silver coin here. You can buy a bushel of wheat for 1.5 silver coin there. So the exchange rate is 1 to 1.5, and not based on the rate of material of silver in a coin. Also, another very good question. Why would a country replace its perfectly valid silver coin with a silver coin that has a higher percentage of silver? It doesn't make sense. The coin would cost more to mint and yet retain the same value? That makes no sense. Unless you do it purely for bragging rights. Like, oh, my country's coins are pure silver, and the Cappadocia has like 80% silver. My currency is better. Alternatively, if the exchange rate is actually based on the percentage of silver, you could use it for cheaper imports, though. Not really. Because if the exchange rate is based on the amount of silver, then you would presumably use up the same amount of silver to import the same amount of wares. And you would get the same amount of silver for exporting the same amount of wares. So nothing changes in the outside trade. Either that, or we can assume that the two things cannot both be true. Huh. Maybe I'm trying to look too deep into that. Maybe I'm trying to look for too much of a puzzle here. I'm not sure, but there is something to that. There is something to that. I wonder, how could Jeren screw Lawrence on it, besides taking his money and running? Which is possible. Less probable if they are to sign a proper contract, but who's to say Jeren is gonna use his real name, right? It's not like they have IDs, personal IDs in this world, do they? It's not like they know of like fingerprints and stuff, right? Take the coin and run. That's like the easiest. Take the coin, make a profit, claim to not have made profit. That also works, but is perfectly verifiable, because Lawrence can figure out that, yeah, there was profit to be made, so he probably cheated me. Make profit, claim to have made less profit. That's the most probable here. Claim to have made profit, bring the money to Lawrence, but in fake coins. Made with, I don't know, whatever is most reminiscent of silver, alpaca or whatever, right? Maybe. Get the coins, trim the edges, smelt it into silver bars, exchange coins, exchange silver bars, and you get a bunch of money to yourself, assuming coins are not checked for being tampered with. I don't know. That's also why coins nowadays usually have like some sort of texture on the outside, and the outside is a little bit like raised. One, it helps blind people navigate their wallets and pick the coin they want, because they have usually different texture on the outside, on the outer rim, but also to prevent people from, I think it's called skimming money. That was a practice when coins were like not perfectly round and made of solid gold or made of solid silver. You would take a knife, you would shave off the outside of the coin would retain its value, and then you would smelt those shavings and sell them as raw gold or raw silver, and you would make a lot of money that way. So they started adding texture on the outside, so coins were much harder to tamper with. The more you know. Let's continue, because I got stuck on this weird scheme they're doing here, and we still have half the episode to go through. I can tell you which silver coin it is. In exchange, how about giving me a share once you make a big profit? What he says here and what he says later are different. I wonder if it's the case of just not showing that in the episode, a case of, I don't know, mistranslation or whatever, but here he says essentially, I'm going to tell you which silver coin it is. You're going to do some speculating with that money. You're gonna tell me how much you made, and I'm gonna take 20% of that. But what he says later is, you give me the money, I do the speculating, and I give you the profit. Lying. Yeah, lying, but about what? And what is the reason for that lie? Because again, the reason for that lie might be that Jeren just wants to fuck Lawrence over some money, right? Get the money and run. That could be the reason. The reason could also be that he is simply lazy. He doesn't want to do the work himself. He'd rather just take 10% of the profit and not do the work. And that's why he's lying. He might be lying because, I don't know, he has a vested interest in the economy of one of the countries getting worse, but no, a single scheme of money speculation would not destabilize the entire economy. I don't know. Basically, the reason might be something teeny tiny that doesn't matter ultimately, or the reason can be something big that will actually screw Lawrence up. So knowing the reason for a lie would tell us a lot. What would you have done if I was not there? Yeah, I would probably act like I'm interested, lead him on, learn as much as I can myself, yeah, investigate it carefully, and if it turns out to be legit, as far as I can tell, agree. If it turns out to be a scam, then don't agree. But let's not get the opportunity pass. Let's say that, oh, I don't have the money yet, but let's meet in a week. I'm going to do some investigating for that week, and then I'm going to give you my answer, right? Or then I'm gonna give you my money, and if you figure out that it's not it's not a good scheme, then you can just arrive there and say, yeah, no, I changed my mind, I don't want to join your scheme. Smart. Smart. There was nothing to hesitate about from the start. Yeah. And she chokes on potatoes again. They have grown quite important, but yeah. They were not important when back in the days. They were anything but important. Like, shit. Poland existed perfectly fine until the christening. There weren't really any troubles, any issues until 966 was the christening of Poland. Yeah, 966. Church wasn't needed. Church was the. I guess there were a couple of benefits to the church coming over and taking over, basically. The fact that the entirety of Europe got christened certainly brought a lot of like unity, right? You would have the tribes of Germans, the tribes of Poles, Polans, I think, way back when, actually. And they would have like different beliefs, and they would have different gods, different deities, and they would be clashing. But no, we believe in the Jesus, we believe in the Jesus. We're cool, we're the same. Oh, your king got chosen by the Pope and christened by the Jesus. Cool, he's a cool king then. He can marry to our princess. She's also been christened by the Jesus. It makes things easy, it makes things interchangeable. That's why you would have people who were like the Prince of Wales, King of Spain, baronet somewhere in fucking rural Russia, and having claims to Finland in the same person at the age of 5, right? Because everything was compatible. So yeah, there was that benefit. There was the benefit of bringing some sort of like scholars, right? I don't think the druids would bring as much to science as the I don't know, as the monks, Christian monks, right? I don't think so, at least. The spread of a common language, Latin, the language of the church, the language that all of the clergy knew all around all of the countries, that followed the same religion, and the language that later spread to the academia. Common tongue, what English is nowadays, that was Latin, and it was spread through Christianity. So yeah, I'm not gonna claim there weren't any benefits, but at the same time, those countries existed perfectly fine before Christianity. So yeah, Holo is not incorrect here. They did not exaggerate things like the one true God created the world. Nature cannot be created by someone. Right. Change of times indeed. Also, again, look how Genki she is. I love it. I love Holo. I understand why she's a top tier waifu. I understand. Now I can truly say I understand. Yeah, let's meet later in the port town of Pazio. So we are in what? Italy area, I guess. Bar Jorend. I'm assuming it's a shady bar? Maybe. Walking will be faster than traveling by carriage. How? Oh, because of the muddy roads. Right. You can, if you walk, you can just, you know, take a road through the mud. But if you take a carriage, then your wheels can be stuck in the mud and you move slower. So you will probably have to pick roads that are not as muddy. Yeah, okay, sure, makes sense. Time is money. I like this. I like this. Yeah, they don't care about time. You would think they do care about time, sure. They care about when to harvest their grain. They care about when to pluck the apples from the trees for the optimal sweetness, right? They care about that. They care about when to sow their fields, yeah. But they don't care about time. They care about what they see. They don't care that it's the 9th of April. They don't. They care that that particular tree is blooming, that particular flower is blooming, and those things are sprouting, which means now is the good time to sow onion for summer harvest, right? They don't care about the calendar. They don't care about the time. They don't care that it's 9 in the morning. They care that now is the time to milk the cows. Because, oh, yeah, the sun is about there. It's time still a ways off to the noon. We don't work at the noon because it's hot and it's gonna take me this much time to milk the cows, so I'm gonna milk the cows now. Then we're gonna rest, and after we eat our dinner and we rest a little bit and we take a nap that is as long as we need it to be without any alarm clocks or whatever, we wake up and we go work more until the sun is down, because we can't work when the sun is down. So then we go to rest. They don't care about the calendar, they don't care about the clock, they don't care about the time. I like it. I like it. I really do. They rejoice the budding sprouts as they sense spring, enjoy the growth of the crops as they sense summer, they wait for spring as they sense winter. They do not care about time. I love it. I love it. Wolves attack humans because they wish to eat their heads and gain their power. Is it just something that Holo says? Or is it something that actually is true for the wolves? And wolves are somehow magical creatures in nature or spiritual creatures or whatever. I've made it through bands of wild dogs, but wolves, that's because they have eaten many humans and gained their brain power. Wolves more dangerous than humans? Well, The Witcher taught me otherwise. Well, wolves more dangerous than dogs? Witcher taught me otherwise. Dogs are not taught to fear humans. They don't have fear of humans. Wolves do. Wolves are afraid of fire. Dogs aren't. Dogs are used to fire. You will not chase them off with a burning torch. Wild dogs, that is. And yeah, Lawrence lost someone to the wolves. I wonder who could it have been? One obvious answer is, of course, whatever traveling partner. The other, less obvious answer, perchance, is wife. Is Lawrence old enough to have already been married? Maybe. By anime standards, he's probably 40. Lawrence lost his wife slash fiancée slash sister, maybe. Sister to the wolves. Conversely, Holo lost someone to a human attack. It would be a nice parallel between them. A man hurt by wolves and a wolf hurt by humans, learning to live and travel together. Right? Kind of poetic in a sense. First time we see her not being Genki. But she knows to apologize. I very much like this. Are you angry? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, actually. You said something thoughtless. You said something that hurt me, that brought bad memories. Yes, I am angry. We're not hiding. We're not beating around the bush. We're not doing the no. I'm not angry at you whatsoever. No. We're mature about it. We talk about what we feel. We don't hide it. We don't bottle it up. I am angry, so I'm going to tell you that I am angry, so that we can work through it. Good shit. Wolves have only lived in the forest, while dogs have lived besides humans before. That's the difference between the difficulty of wolves and dogs. Wolves have only been hunted by humans. Humans are a source of fear. Yeah, wolves want to protect their place from humans, basically. Interesting how this whole conversation basically puts wolves in a position of being the opposite to humans, the antithesis to humans, almost. Wolves protect their own territory that gets encroached by humans. Wolves kill humans. Humans kill wolves. It's a very big dichotomy here. We're not mentioning, oh yeah, bears, they also protect their area, they also attack humans, and humans also kill bears. No, we don't give a fuck about bears, we only care about wolves. I know that it's probably because Holo herself is a wolf, so of course she talks a lot about wolves. She has first-hand experience, but it's still very interesting to me how we essentially create this wolves versus dogs, wolves versus humans, and both of them are basically equal in the eyes of the story. And back to being Genki. For a moment, at least. Port Town and Sweet Temptation. I wonder if it's gonna be the Port Town where they meet Jeren. On one hand, yeah, okay, the Port Town is apparently within walking distance, so it might be. It's probably close enough to arrive there in a day. On the other hand, it's not really going to give much time for Lawrence to research the currency speculation. So I wonder. All right. Yeah. That's the episode. Episode 2 of Spice and Wool. And I enjoyed it very much. I really did. I think this will be one of the shows where I just spend a lot of time talking about anecdotes from history, from my childhood, from, I don't know, trivia that I know about. Oh, in medieval times they did this, and that. And oh, did you know that thing about currency, right? It's probably gonna be one of the series where I can very much how do I say it? Words elude me. Words elude me. One of the series where I will feel like I'm a part of it almost. Right? Like I'm traveling there with them, laying in the grass, sitting in the abbey, trying to figure out how to speculate on currency the best. Probably. There isn't like that much happening world building wise, for example, not yet at least. So I can't speculate about that particularly much, but I have a feeling that this will be more or less the running theme, at least for some time, the puzzle aspect, right? We get some bits and pieces of knowledge, we get some advice from Holo, and we need to piece things together, right? We get an information that, oh, the coal mines collapsed in the city of Riskitaris. Meanwhile, the city of Turustaja had a record harvest of plums. And now, does it mean we will go to Fraspete, or do we go to the port city of Ain? I don't know. What does anything to do with each other? But we know that, oh, the price of plums is tied. Plums are actually being exported, so maybe we should go to the port city. But the coal is also being exported. The alternative way that the coal can go is they would have to take it from somewhere else through a caravan. So maybe right, you know what I mean? We get some bits and pieces of information, and we have to piece out, or I mean, Lawrence probably, but we, the viewers with him, have to piece together the pieces of the puzzle to figure out where we need to go for the most profit, what we need to sell, what we need to buy, what can we invest in, what can we speculate on. I have a feeling it's going to be something like that for at least some time, or for the entire time, just interspersed with more story driven, story focused episodes, maybe whatever story there is in this show. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm already enjoying it, but I'm gonna enjoy those puzzles even more. Be prepared for the videos on Spice and Wool being over an hour long, each and every single one of them, if we get more puzzles like this one with speculating currency. That's good. I like it. Cool. Good shit. More, please. But I think that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add about this episode. If so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of it, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Spice and Wolf, but also Yuuki, Yuuna, Sayusha. What else? Blue Archive, Metallic Rouge, plenty others. coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do go live sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. On Patreon though, for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuki, Yuuna, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via membership, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons. QB without a net, the survivor, Zayrena, Yuuki, Ala, Ishtamu, Dr. Bot, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to speculate on currency.